Oh my God, it was torture. It was like napalm just coming out of my anus.
That's the cut right there. It was just napalm coming out of my anus. Welcome back to the Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Adam, it's Matt, we're the boys, and we are decaying. We're coming at you faster than Karrion Kross can lose his debut match to Jeff Hardy. So, we love beer and we love wrestling, and we love our friends over at 412 Brewery. Located in the north side of Pittsburgh, 412 offers delicious brews to go alongside some of the best sporting events in the city. 412 is a dog-friendly, 7-day-a-week tap house packed with a variety of brews to satisfy the craft beer fan in your family. Get more details by following 412 at 412 Brewery on all social media. Make sure you tell them the boys sent you. So, how's everybody doing?
Doing great. And just since you're bringing up 412, Bash Brew will be out at the Schuylkill County Beer Fest next Saturday. This upcoming Saturday when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Pouring with 412. So we will have a beer at their tent. Come say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're out that way and you want to stop by and see Adam as he reps 412 and Bash Brew, please, by all means, get out there. I think tickets are still on sale, right? They haven't sold that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still on sale.
So grab them up, man. It's going to be a great time.
I'll do my best to remember some Decaying with the Boys stickers, too, for everybody.
If you can. Yeah. If not, I completely understand.
I'll do my best. It's a week away. I'll forget a lot.
You also can't promote 3 things at the same time. I think that's kind of disingenuous.
Nah. Totally do it. No, it's only 2 things. Bash Brew.
Yeah.
Decaying with the
But
Boys.
are you pouring with 412 or are you pouring as Bash Brew?
I'm pouring as Bash Brew.
Oh,
I'll just be at their I'll be at their tent.
Fuck it then. Take all of our stickers.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be promoting them when their representatives in the John or whatever. But
oh yeah, for sure. You got to take off the Bash Brew t-shirt and put on the 412 t-shirt.
Oh no, Bash Brew t-shirt
all the whole time. So we also have one of our friends here, a guest producer, Mr. Yoni. It's good to have you in the house, buddy. How you doing?
Pretty good, man.
I'm just excited to have you here right now.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. It's always so wonderful to have you here, especially because you know jack shit about wrestling.
Yep. Like, no, absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Pretty good. I mean, just life's been flowing.
Yeah.
And I'm high as shit.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Yoni's here today to promote his new weed line that he's selling. No.
Don't tease me like that, man.
Oh, man, if you could sell your own weed line, I would be heavily impressed and also would be interested in investing.
I got you covered.
See, that's what I like about you. So we are now Decaying with the Boys. We're going to have Yoni in throughout the episode. I can't wait to see what you add to this, my friend.
Oh, boy.
So real quick, I just want to know, how are you guys feeling about the continued swerve from CM Punk?
I don't think it's Swerve anymore, brother.
Is it confirmed?
I think it's confirmed. I read a report last night that it is a done deal.
So
ink to paper.
Yeah. So
that he's in AEW.
All the insiders that talked to me, all 2 of them, love you guys. Thank you so much for all your leaking to me. There was all the rumors were going out, especially from above in WWE, where some top guys were like, "It's legitimately happening. The CM Punk is signing with AEW." But what's funny is because CM Punk, I read this article where it's like, "Oh no, CM Punk's going to wrestle for Jack and Ace Spade's Duffy Wrestling League under a new name with a new manager," and I was like, wait a minute, is he gonna like crush the indies real quick to get the ring rust out? I was like, I'm reading the article and they hooked me, man. So he was going by Ricky Rabies, and that he already wrestled a dark match with his new manager Vicky Rabies, and that he would reportedly be a heel. And this was on the New Stars show, Heels. Heels will focus on men and women who try to take their dreams up to the next level to make them come true in a small, tight-knit local wrestling community. Cameos from other notable wrestlers should make this a fantastic show for wrestling fans to get into.
I don't know. I saw the trailer. First off, I don't have stars, so
yeah, nobody does.
My opinion doesn't fucking matter anyway. But the show looks awful.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
It looks like a super drama, and it just looks bad.
Also, too, who's the guy who kind of looks like Hangman Adam Page, but it's not him?
Don't know who that
Yeah,
actor is. I know who you're talking about,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. It's like the main character's brother.
Like you should have just got Hangman Adam Page.
It looks like a cross between Hangman Adam Page and Young Edge.
yeah.
And he just looks like a loser. Like he just doesn't look like a wrestler at all.
It doesn't look good, but I can just say so. Other wrestling themed movies and shows have done well. Like I like Glow. Glow was really good.
Glow was good.
That was fantastic. And I've always loved The Wrestler, the movie The Wrestler.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And I don't think that this is going to be able to capture that, but they are going to try to. I mean, you got good talent to push the show, which was fantastic. CM Punk he literally sells anything. Like he did really well in that horror movie on Netflix, The Girl on the Third Floor.
Girl on the Third Floor. Yeah.
And that was good. And his star power really sold that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Heels does well on Stars. I'm never going to watch it because I'm not going to pay $8 a month to watch anything on Stars.
Right.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Well, speaking of The Wrestler, though, me and my wife watched it on a recent Brew Day. And I wasn't sure if she'd get into it or not. I just wanted to watch it because
it's
like
awesome.
it, and I didn't have to pay full attention to it because I saw it before.
Yeah.
But she was like fully invested in it, and then at the end, where the screen just cuts to black, she just went, "What the fuck? Are we supposed to think he died?" I was like, "It's up to you." She's like, "Damn it!" She was completely into it.
Yeah, that heart's pounding. He's about to go off the top rope, and it sounds like he's having arrhythmia. I'm pretty sure he did coke before he came out.
But I mean, back to CM Punk a little bit. Like huge news.
It's going to be fantastic to see him come out and actually be in a wrestling ring. He's still in his prime. He still looks really good. And he can finally put that terrible MMA career behind him. Because
one loss, one no contest.
Yeah, boom. You're looking good. Fantastic.
He got one of those losses he raced in the past month.
So. Because someone tests positive for weed.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, there you go. So. Testing positive for weed. It gets you out of the Olympics too, by the way, apparently. Yeah. You can be fast as fuck, boy, and you're still out. See ya!
But yeah, we'll talk about some other notable signings and returns later on in the news. But yeah, CM Punk definitely the big story this week. I saw it first. Fightful dropped the story. I think it was Tuesday afternoon, might have been Wednesday afternoon. And the internet just exploded.
And then I saw. So Fightful gave yours. PWI gave me another article where they were saying that Tony Khan met with CM Punk and basically said, whatever you want up to this dollar amount, and then anything you want after that is all yours.
Wow.
So I can only imagine what it's going to be like to see CM Punk have the lid taken off him and he can do whatever he wants.
And I heard it wasn't about the money for him either. Like he wanted a good storyline, good opponents, and we'll do a little fantasy booking with him later.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, can't wait.
Yeah,
can't freaking wait. Can't wait for AEW to go to Chicago. I think sometime in October.
Yeah,
right?
It's late October. Yeah, dude. If he doesn't debut there to get that entire city to blow up, I don't know what AEW is doing.
All out in Chicago?
All Out is
I know
in Chicago.
It has been in the past. So there you go. I did see an article that all out ticket prices have dramatically been affected. So I think it's happening.
How many Pepsi T-shirts are you going to see in the crowd?
All of them. I'm buying. I mean, I already have a couple CM Punk shirts. I'm buying.
Your Chicago hardcore shirt's really cool.
I fucking love that shit.
So, speaking of things we love, we like to feature beers on this podcast, and Adam decided to bring us a bevy of Hitchhiker beers. So, Adam, can you please let the people know what the three of us will be sampling?
Yeah, we are featuring Hitchhiker this week. They opened up in 2014 in Mount Lebanon, and now they've moved to Sharpsburg, PA, but they kept the Mount Lebanon tap room. So, if you're in either area, look up Hitchhiker. They do some great sours, great IPAs, and some really good stouts when they have stouts on.
Oh yeah,
which we have a stout later today. But first we have the So Soft Cashmere IPA from Hitchhiker, like I said, and it is a 6.2. I imagine Cashmere IPA. It's going to be a hazy, but we'll figure it out.
Sound effects, man. We get paid for sound effects. So while Adam pours this beer, if you guys want to find out what's happening with Hitchhiker Beer, all you have to do is search out Hitchhiker Beer on all social media. They always have something going on at both of their tap rooms, and I can tell you, going to the Sharpsburg one, I love that place. The staff is very friendly, and they always have rotating taps, and usually anything on tap is usually in a can, too, that you can take home with you.
Usually now, yeah.
Yeah.
During COVID, they were selling out of cans fast.
Super fast.
Now it's a little more accessible. And if you're local to Pittsburgh, you can usually catch them in Market District, Giant Eagles, and some beer distributors now.
Yeah,
so.
the place up by me, they have a whole fridge just Hitchhiker.
My wife picked these ones up at Washington Beer up in
wow.
Trinity Point in Washington, PA.
In Washington?
They have a ton of Hitchhiker there.
Hell yeah, dude.
And great prices.
Yeah. So, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Hell yeah, my dudes.
Oh, yeah. That's cashmere.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Super pillowy.
Yeah, man.
Little bit of hoppiness, but amazing amount of like fruitiness.
Yeah, the fruitiness almost counterbalances the hop. It makes it, like you said, super smooth. It's cashmere, baby. Banana, 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 banana.
Jeez.
You can only hum. So Yoni, you can only hum so much of a song before you get flagged.
Uh-oh.
So I stopped,
Okay.
so they can't come get me.
Fair enough.
Because they're definitely listening to us.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like that Starbucks rap.
Led Zeppelin doesn't give a shit.
You know who the fuck we are.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's got a light body to it, so it lets the hop shine through.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this.
Yeah, so thank you, Hitchhiker. And again, if you want to find out what's going on at Hitchhiker, it's Hitchhiker on all social media. Check them out and tell them the boys sent you. So, Adam, we had a wonderfully average Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
I thought it was better than average for WWE.
There were parts of this card that made me very upset, and we will get into that. However, I will say that Mystic Matt is back in the house. I threw down the Money in the Bank picks for win, and I hit both of them. And not only did I do that, but fast forward from Money in the Bank, Nikki Cross, Almost Superhero, took home the Raw Women's Championship the very next night. So let's get into this card.
Sure.
So we started off with the Usos coming off of their ARD DUI hotel stint, going against the Mysterio family for the SmackDown tag team titles. This is a great match, I believe. It was great pacing. I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know this was going to be on the card. It was kind of like, to me, I don't know if it was an add-on, but it was in the kickoff.
Yeah, it was in the pre-show.
Yeah. What a match to have in the pre-show, by the way. Two phenomenally skilled teams. I like to see Dominic continue to grow as a wrestler. I think he did a fantastic job. And then, of course, Rey Mysterio is timeless.
Yeah.
He stopped aging at 37.
Well, like 36, he blew both knees and looked older than ever. And then he got him repaired and now looks great again.
He's just buff, man. He's a buff, like 4 foot tall guy. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So you had a great mixture here. You had a lot of high flying, enough high flying, and enough brawling to make this a match that anybody could really get into. What I really liked here is that the Usos, even though they won, which I didn't want to see happen, they did win with a cheap roll up. They got the bad pin.
Well,
Which,
they had to win for the storyline.
Yeah.
For the family.
bloodline.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, it works. It was a good match.
Yeah.
I guess their punishment was getting thrown on the pre-show, but still getting the belts.
Yeah. Oh, so sad.
Yeah.
God, man. You know, one time I got a speeding ticket in South Strabane, and the judge almost called me a piece of shit because I was going 10 mile an hour over in a 35 mile an hour
You should
zone.
be a wrestler, sir.
I should be a wrestler because I could have a fucking IC title or something by now.
You need to be a wrestler, and you need to be related to the two biggest wrestlers in WWE history.
That's
Roman
it?
Reigns and The Rock. And
That's
you'll be
all?
fine.
Fuck. Well, I'll get right on that. I can marry in, right?
Yeah, sure.
What's Nia Jax up to?
I thought you were going to go for the other Uso brother that's single.
He's cute. I'd do it.
He's got great facial hair.
Yeah. Speaking of great facial hair, Nikki Ash, who is supported by the Scottish Warrior. See, there you go.
Yeah. And is married to Damo, who has body hair all over.
The place. He is a werewolf. So the ladies' Money in the Bank ladder match kicked off right after that to really kick off the card itself, where you had all the contestants duking it out for a contract to take on anybody they wanted to for the respective titles for Raw and SmackDown. Great spots in this thing. The thing that I didn't like about it was right at the beginning when you had Alexa Bliss trying to use telekinesis to get
the belt. I laughed so hard.
Yeah. I popped the wrong way.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Just her like staring aimlessly at people was cool. Like a serial killer. And then she tried to she slowly lowered herself and put her hand up like, I'm going to get it like this.
The best spot was her and Zelina Vega on the ladder, and then she tranced her.
Yeah.
And made her climb down the ladder. But the problem with that was Alexa also had to climb down the ladder, so advantage
Zelina.
Gone, yeah.
Well, also too, that's the only thing Zelina got to do of any substance recently because all she does is lose now.
Right.
So
She took a sick ladder bump.
yeah, she did.
She
man.
was like laying on it, and somebody got power bombed on her. I can't remember. But
I
it
give a
was
lot of
pretty
credit
nasty.
to Tamina. I thought Tamina did a great job carrying them. Dude,
I do not think so.
she was stiff, but I'm telling you,
Did you see
man.
that botchy Hurricanrana?
Well, yeah,
I think it
I don't
was.
think that's so much her though. I think she was trying to catch. I think it was Liv. Liv
Liv Morgan.
Tyler. Jesus Christ, Liv Morgan. I always do this.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah, don't want to miss. I can't say it all. I'll get sued by Aerosmith. So yeah, I think she was trying to catch the Hurricane Rana.
It looked like she caught it and then was like,
Oh yeah,
delayed thought. Oh, my dad murdered that lady. Oh, let me do this Hurricanrana.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to flip forward. So fast forward to the ending became pretty predictable when you had 3 ladders and 7 women.
You
brawling.
knew the ending was coming.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you didn't know who was going to win.
That's true. Until you saw the only person on the ground was Nikki Cross. So, but like, I mean, she did a great job, man.
Yeah, so just to talk about her, like she came out, her entrance was kind of flat from the fans, like not a huge pop, but she did that ladder spot and almost necked herself. She climbed the ladder on the outside of the ring and then jumped on everybody on the inside.
Yeah.
But when she jumped, she pushed off a little too hard and the ladder kicked back and she barely cleared the rope. But hit it, looked fine. If you see the zoom out version where she's just like coyote leg kicking like Wile E. Coyote falling off the cliff.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but a sick spot. And I think that got the crowd on her side.
Yeah.
And when she grabbed that belt, she got a huge pop. So
I tell you what, man, she's really underrated. I think she's going to do really cool things. I hope they don't put the belt on her to have her lose it directly.
yeah, can I just vent a little bit about
Sure, of
her
course.
winning the championship?
Yeah.
Great. I loved it. Cool time for her to cash in and
Yeah.
everything. Fuck you, WWE, for giving her literally 20 seconds to celebrate before the fucking show was over. Like, she just, like, really didn't get her moment. You, like, kind of saw her run for the fans and, like, jump on the barrier.
That was it.
Really cool, like, emotional moment, a genuine moment in WWE, not super scripted. And, well, we got to go to Silk Stockings, y'all.
Silk Stockings coming right back at you.
Miss that show.
I do miss that show. That was that was softcore porn back when softcore porn wasn't censored on anything. Jesus Christ.
Raw goes off the air with Stone Cold chugging 2 beers, and then it's right to soft sex. And it's like, huh.
It's like, I think I'm maturing
I think
right
I
now.
just became a man.
Beer? Boobs? Okay. Strangulation?
But yeah, way to
Brian
go.
Dennehy, what are you doing here?
Way to go, Nikki. I hope you're not just a transfer champion.
Yeah.
I think she's going to hold it for a little bit. I think her new gimmick is good for the kids. Like, and Vince likes to have, the money from the parents.
That's
so
true.
like you can make a sick action figure out of her, do some merch, do some PSAs. She can hold it until Rumble maybe, and then
You know it's going to be,
what
right?
happens.
It's going to be a build towards her and Alexa Bliss, good versus evil, superhero versus supervillain.
that'll be terrible. But
They put on good matches together. It might
they have.
It might
It's
be a
just
good
Alexa's current gimmick is
It's terrible.
horseshit.
Yeah, I don't like it. I liked it, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So speaking of matches that I fell kind of flat, we saw AJ Styles and Omos taking on the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Titles. Anticlimactically, of course, AJ and Omos won. I mean,
Right. There was a near fall for the Viking Raiders in the match where I thought they were almost got AJ, but it didn't happen.
I think this is AJ's last hurrah with WWE, and they're like,
I freaking hope not.
Yeah.
Because he is lifting some heavy weight with Omos. He's so green.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
AJ,
yeah.
AJ like helps him hide it
oh yeah,
as best he can.
well, it's like, hey, I'm a little guy, and I need the big guy to do the big guy things. And that's like the spot where Omos threw AJ out of the ring into the spot on the outside. That was really cool. But I just think AJ is gonna get tired of this because he. I mean, you forget that he's like in his 40s.
Yeah, I think they'll drop the belts eventually. I think
Yeah.
he'll go away for a while, take a nice break, and then come back, do one more championship run, and that might be about it.
Which he deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
But I also liked one good takeaway from this. I really like the Viking Raiders. They actually tag wrestle. Like they tagged in and out 20 times in the match, and I was like, wow, this is what tag wrestling should be like.
Yeah, and
like they would tag, do a dual move,
cycle.
do a couple moves, cycle back,
Yeah.
cycle back. It was like really watching a well-planned match.
Right.
It was just not super interesting because you kind of knew what the outcome was going to be.
Also, too, the one thing with the Viking Raiders I really like, they have a unique tag in, tag out. They always
They bump the forearms.
Yep. That's like, you know what? Yeah. I do like the Viking Raiders a little more. But I don't know what's next for them because I think they're going to get a little buried because they lost to AJ Styles and Omos. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens next. So, speaking of matches that we didn't need to see, Bobby Lashley completely flattened Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. This was... I don't know who Kofi Kingston pissed off in the back, but they built him so hard to have him come out and get flattened. Yeah. Brody Lee, Cody Rhodes style. Flattened for nothing. There's nothing about what he just did other than building him towards a mega match for Bobby Lashley that made sense in this match.
No.
I don't get this.
It was just to build
Yeah.
what we all hoped was going to be Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, but it's going to be Bobby Lashley and Goldberg.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I have feelings. So yeah, spoiler alert: inside 8 minutes, Bobby Lashley beat the shit out of Kofi Kingston, and then finally put him into the Hurt Lock, and then that was it.
Yeah,
it's done.
Not much to say about it.
Not much. Going on to the match that the ending kind of had me a little pissed. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship here. This is a tough one, man, because I thought Ripley should have retained to build towards something else with somebody else, and it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I didn't really... I shouldn't say I didn't really care about who won. I would have liked Rhea to win. Mm-hmm. I was fine with Charlotte winning, but if you go back to their... This is real nerdy, but if you go back to their last match, Rhea got disqualified for hitting her with a little bit of the table as she flipped it up.
Yeah.
Charlotte won this match by kicking the steel stairs into her knee twice and then putting it in her... I was like, where's the D...
Yeah.
That should have been a DQ. It was just terrible booking. Did like Charlotte Flair flicking off the crowd when
that
they
was
returned
nice.
for Becky.
Yes.
Becky did not return, even though she clearly was in Texas. She posted on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good match. Charlotte Flair didn't miss her phantom kick by 5 feet this time. It was more
which was
like 2
nice.
feet. Yeah. But I mean, God, every time I see Charlotte Flair though, it's like she looks like a different person. Like she is drastically changing. And you could tell on this pay-per-view because as she was entering, they were showing like her past championship wins. So like you see her in like 2015 and you see her now, it's like
totally different people.
Yeah, doesn't even look like the same person.
Jesus Christ. So Flair wins by submission by using the steel steps to rearrange Ripley's knee, putting her in the figure 4 to pay homage to her father, Ric Flair. At this point, though, this is when the Peacock Network went apeshit.
This is when I went to bed.
Yeah, this is where... So...
It was like 9:30 in the evening, and I was so pissed. I just was like, I'm going to bed.
I tweeted at Peacock Network and WWE so much that they actually deleted some of my tweets. I just kept like flooding it like a DOS attack, like bah, 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 bah. And I woke up the next morning after like this all like went away, and I saw that I probably put out 10 tweets, 7 of them deleted, and not by my hands. I mean, I was a little drunk watching Money in the Bank and pissed about it, but like. You definitely deleted my tweets, man. Peacock's like, scrub this.
I'm missing John Morrison's entrance.
I just want to see Nakamura in the back lip syncing to someone else's entrance music. I couldn't even tell what they were doing.
It ended up being Randy Orton's, and it was real funny.
Oh, see, I gotta go back and see.
So like Riddle before the match, Riddle and Bose or Ghost or whatever
that guy's
guitar's name is.
Yeah,
Boggs. I think it's Boggs.
Booger man.
Him and Booger were like. Freaking Riddle was like, I really miss Randy, man. And he's like, oh, I could play a cover of his song. So he like starts playing it, and Riddle starts singing it, and Nakamura's in the back just dancing.
Oh my god,
pretty funny for WWE.
Yeah,
because like usually their shit's just corny,
right?
But yeah, and so I watched the match the next day.
Yes.
Great match. Probably the best men's Money in the Bank match in the last 4 years.
It was fantastic. Yeah. I missed. I have to go back and watch it without it being kind of herky jerky because even when I restarted the Peacock app, it still had like moments where it would cut out. So I definitely have to go back and watch it in a more smooth flow. And I wanted to see the segment before everyone came out, but you can really tell like they made smart plays. John Morrison, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura. Those are 3 guys that aren't going to win this thing. They're not going to, but they can wrestle. I mean, it was smart to put them in. And then Ricochet, that huge spot he had, off the ladder, off the top rope, into everybody else.
Springboard into everybody else. And he almost cleared everybody. He got some height.
Dude, he's so athletic,
Crazy
man.
height.
So Big E ended up winning the Money in the Bank contract. Of course, you should know that by now if you're listening. So Big E is already making his plans. Oh, absolutely.
Huge pop. Everybody wanted him to win.
So it's a smart play. Finally, Creative kind of gets it right a little bit here. The big swerve here, I think, would have been, though, if you had someone like John Morrison win it. But it's just not going to happen.
I was pushing a little bit in the back of my mind for Nakamura to grab that thing.
It would have been nice.
Didn't happen.
But then we move on to the last match of the night, taking over 33 minutes to find its end. Roman Reigns versus Edge for the Universal title. This match had a little piece of everything. Great in-ring work by both 2 veterans. Edge is clearly still at the peak of his game. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, he was good.
You kind of thought like the Usos were taken out of it at one point. You're like, oh yeah, they tried to come out. Mysterio's kind of jumped back in and took them out. So okay, cool. It's going to be a pure end to this match, and then it wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah. So Seth Rollins is back in the game here, doing heel shit, which I mean he's good at. He's a good heel. But Reigns won this by pinfall at 33 minutes and 10 seconds. That's a long ass match.
Yeah, I could have done. It was a good match, but I could have done without the first 10 minutes. It was very like rest holdy, and I mean it was just for Roman to get some heel heat. I understand that, but I just wanted to watch something else.
Yeah, you can establish that amount of heel heat in 2 minutes, not 10. Yeah,
but I mean, great match. Yeah. Both had their freaking working boots on, and really
absolutely
did well. I mean, they looked freaking exhausted at the end of this.
Yeah, you could tell, and you knew how tired Roman was because surprise, surprise, John Cena came out to a huge pop, unexpectedly huge pop. And when he comes down, Roman Reigns cuts no part of a promo to retort.
They just did the little stare off thing.
Yeah, which is good. And then I guess like after the cameras went off, John Cena addressed the WWE universe.
Oh, I'm sure he did. And on Raw, he said he cussed. I forget what he called Roman. He either called him a bitch or that he was bullshit or something like that.
About time.
Yeah.
Because John Cena's master of thugonomics, he used to spit some ill shit.
He came back with a little bit more adult content. Then he did some corny shit with Riddle that they should have just left
off. Of course.
Off.
At that point, I would call him Riddell.
But yeah, great. I thought it was a good match. Especially the last 2 matches were awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to get into our favorites here in a second, but I would say the Lashley match and the Charlotte Ripley match were the 2 most controversial finishes. Like people either loved them or hated them. Very polarizing.
Yeah, people were pissed about that Kofi match. So I got to ask you, Adam, after viewing this card probably 1.5 times to get back on all the other stuff, what is your match of the night?
Let me look at them real quick. I got to go with, I mean, it's pretty blatantly obvious, I think. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match was my favorite, followed very closely by the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah. I am actually going to go with the Usos versus the Mysterios to open it up. I thought it was a well-constructed tag match, had enough of each side of it, high fly, and some brawling. I liked it. I liked the end of it because Mysterios lost dirty. Doesn't take anything away from them. And the Usos now continue to form Mecca bloodline, wherever the hell they're doing. So that just furthers good storylines. I like seeing that. Who is your wrestler of the card?
I want to say Big E, but I'm going to go with Nikki ASH. Just for her to come from where she was a year ago to where she's at now, huge, and just a good match. Great great turning the crowd to her favor during the match because they were not hot for her when she came out, and then when she won, they were thrilled. So
I definitely agree with you. Like that was my pick for sure. Would be Nikki. But if I can't pick Nikki because you pick Nikki, if I pick somebody else, I'm going to say it's going to be Edge. Because I thought Edge put on a great show. Even though he lost, he knew how to carry the match. Because there were times where Roman Reigns got a little too beefy and Edge had to really carry some of those slower segments. So I give Edge a lot of credit there, even in the loss. So we talk about the good. We got to talk about the bad. What is your piss break match?
Weird that a championship match would be my piss break match, but the Lashley Kingston match, I did watch the whole thing. Wish I didn't. Wish I would have just went and took a 7-minute shit.
Yep.
Because it would have felt good, and this made me feel bad.
I would have done the same thing, except my shit would have lasted for 12 minutes and 55 seconds because that Styles Omos and Vikings Raider tag match was at times just too flat for me.
That's my second choice. Yeah.
So, from Buckle to Bell, the boys bring you the best wrestling news in the biz. So, do we know why Vince is trying to kill NXT with his grapefruit-sized testicles? Adam, did you make edits while I was reading?
No, not while you were reading it this time. I did it about an hour ago before you showed up. That's the only one, by the way. I didn't do it all over. I just wanted to throw one in there.
This one right here? Yeah. So, Vince strikes back at NXT with his grapefruit-sized testicles. So, if you guys don't know yet, a lot of things happened here. Karrion Kross got rolled in his debut. Keith Lee finally came back to only get completely demolished by Bobby Lashley, and Charlotte Flair can no longer count her NXT title reigns towards her overall total.
I saw that.
So, is NXT now just a developmental league?
You know what? I don't know. Like, it seems like it. It seems like Vince is definitely putting them on the totem pole below main roster.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I had to pick a product to watch on a weekly basis, it's NXT.
Not only, and I feel real bad for Keith Lee because it was a surprise comeback for him. Then he got beat by Bobby Lashley. Then he got overshadowed by Goldberg again.
Yep.
Same thing happened when Goldberg came back to face Drew McIntyre. Keith Lee took a pinfall in that match, undeservedly, and then got outshined by Goldberg.
Good Lord. And then you look at Karrion Kross too. He got straight up neutered on his entrance.
I turned Raw off.
Yeah.
I saw that part. I texted you.
Yeah.
Can't believe they fucking did this. And I was like, I'll just watch the highlights tomorrow because this is crazy.
I watched the whole match because it was only 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I watched that whole match and then I shut it off. Yeah.
So if you didn't watch it, Karrion Kross on NXT has an incredible entrance. There's smoke, there's pomp, there's circumstance. He has an absolutely gorgeous, in real life wife, Scarlett Boudreaux, who is just...
Who's his manager.
Yeah, and she's a knockout, and she does so much theatrically for his entrances. He didn't have his entrance, he didn't have his manager, and he got beat by Jeff Hardy. And Jeff Hardy has been jobbing for the past year.
Yeah.
In terrible angles and storylines, but he beat probably, arguably, one of the best talents in all three brands.
Yeah.
So Karrion Kross...
At least one of the most pushed.
Oh, yeah. And he's supposed to be like a rubber stamp of like Conan the Barbarian because he has a very Roman soldier look to him.
Yeah, very jacked.
Yeah, and then Jeff Hardy just beats him, and handedly beats him. That's going to be a downfall for Vince because I think at this point you're going to see a fracture.
To completely summarize it in a way that'll piss you off, one of WWE's up and coming top heels got beat by one of their fading, going out, being punished baby faces. And the babyface had to use heel tactics to do it. So, none of it makes sense.
Yeah. Good Lord. Oh, but the metrics will tell you that things go well. Like, the WWE fans like Goldberg, despite the fact that that's wrong, because the metrics have come out on several occasions. Yoni, pay attention to this, man.
Okay.
So, Goldberg has been pushed down the throats of the WWE universe for quite a few years. He's a part-time wrestler who likes to come back and get directly into the title scene. So Vince is quoting metrics about pop and viewership when Goldberg comes out. And then real metrics are coming out and saying that's when people turn off the TV, much a la Adam.
Yep.
Adam turned off the TV, as did I. So Goldberg is back, and he's back in the title picture. And despite the fact that he's being shut down by Bobby Lashley, it's going to happen. He's going to fight Bobby Lashley.
And he's looking old.
Yeah,
he's
looks
looking real
bad. Yeah. So I wrote here too.
I mean, just seems like an excuse. Like Brock wasn't accepting the money he was being offered, so they were like, "Oh, let's go get Goldberg." He does 2 matches a year and almost kills whatever superstar is in there against.
He almost ended the Undertaker's last ride early.
Yeah.
Like, he dropped him directly on his neck with a botched jackhammer over in Saudi Arabia. Just almost killed him. And The Undertaker is, the most durable wrestler on the planet. He, worked 280 shows a year and wrestled on a broken neck. And Goldberg almost took him out. But I said here, the results are not shocking with the metrics that Vince is using because because nobody wants some aging dum-dum wrestling Bobby Lashley.
Nope.
Don't want it. Can't want it. So, moving on to things that are actually fucking incredible. Lance Archer wins the IWGP United States Championship after taking that strap away from Jon Moxley, snapping a record 5 consecutive title defenses in a Texas death match on basic cable television. A pay-per-view worthy match. Amazing.
Might be a little sacrilegious for me to say this. It was better than the barbed wire exploding death match with Moxley and Omega, in my opinion.
Oh, it was. Yeah, hands
more
down.
violent
Yeah.
and just better.
Well, because I think both guys actually took real bumps.
Yes.
Omega avoided bumps. Lance Archer's like, nah, man.
No, I'll take that right on my neck.
Yep, let's do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I have another?
And then the only reason why Jon Moxley lost, and I thought that the announcers did a really good job selling this, not because he was knocked out, he was caught in the barbed wire and he couldn't get out. So at the end of the match here, Lance Archer throws Jon Moxley through 2 barbed wire spike tables with a choke slam. Brutal spot.
From the inside of the ring to the out to the floor.
The strength of this man. And the sell of Jon Moxley.
Don't think he had to sell it that much. I think he was
That
hurt.
hurt bad.
His ear was like ripped open. Like his
Yeah.
ear and his temple were completely ripped open. And he was literally stuck in the barbed wire.
He couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Everything looked great. Everything looked violent. 2 guys that really know how to show off. And then after the cameras went off, Jon Moxley presented Lance Archer with the title and raised his hand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it
Did
was
not see that.
Great bout of sportsmanship
Freaking
there.
awesome.
Yeah, so cool.
My favorite part of the match?
Yeah.
Basic cable TNT, and the men are stabbing each other with forks.
Yeah.
Just right in the forehead.
Oh yeah, just repeatedly too, like prison style. Bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
They
Yeah.
did it. They did the spot the first time, which Moxley hit Archer with the fork.
Yes.
And I was like, well, that was cool. We're not going to see that anymore. And then it went back and forth 2
Yup.
more times. It was nuts.
I like too when Moxley brought it out. He pretended to eat a salad with it. He goes, "Oh, look, yum 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 yum." He just stab. It was really cool. So AEW is clearly bringing back long form storytelling and promotions. Chris Jericho made some statements during an interview that cast a contrasting shadow on how AEW and WWE run their stables. The best comparison was some of the heat he received from WWE Creative about how long the Inner Circle has been together, with Le Champion simply responding, "Yeah, how's the Hurt Business doing?" AEW allows their stables to stay together, and they develop storylines within the stables and individually outside of the stables. It's something we haven't seen since, and I'm going to say it might be sacrilegious, WCW.
Right.
WCW was great. You'd have 5 people in a stable. Each one of them have their own storylines against other people in other stables, and just all
Makes
these
it
great
interesting.
matches. Yeah. And also to see that Chris Jericho continues to piss off WWE is just fantastic.
I don't know why they're concerned. Like, they got other stuff to worry about.
Yeah, like they're failing ticket sales in New York. Yeah, while AEW is taking off in New York. And also, too, if you're looking for tickets for the Pittsburgh show for Rampage, unfortunately, sold out, man. You can't get a ticket now. Gone.
Well,
Yeah?
I'm going to try.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I never got mine.
Oh, no. They're gone. But maybe you can there might be some secondary sales.
Everybody in Pittsburgh, CM Punk's not going to be there yet.
Yeah.
Sell them.
Yeah, sell your tickets real quick.
I just want to go.
It's going to be a cool thing, especially because, Britt Baker's definitely going to come out. Mm-hmm. Huge pop.
Pittsburgh, baby.
Pittsburgh, DMD. So lastly, Daniel, Brian Danielson, Corey Matthews, Sean Hunter, whatever you want to call him. He is confirmed to be signed with AEW. We don't know what his name is going to be, but we do know that the coveted free agent is scheduled to appear before a live crowd when AEW invades Queens, New York. According to a report from PWI, thanks again to the insiders that throw me some information, Danielson wanted fewer dates, comparable money, freedom to work in Japan, and total control over his in-ring character. And reports indicate that good old Tony Khan had absolutely no issue giving these requested items to Danielson, much akin to CM Punk. What a great acquisition.
Old Danny Danielson coming back.
He's going to do some cool stuff,
Yeah,
man.
it's going to be awesome. Really happy that this signing happened. And this one was confirmed like Wednesday, I think. It's like for sure. And it does look like that Queen show is going to be his debut.
Yes.
So pumped. For a quick second, can I talk about some other debuts that happened
Yeah,
this week? Like
of course.
craziness. Not to
No, please.
outshadow Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, but also got Nick Gage showing up on. Speaking of Chris Jericho, he will be on this Wednesday against Jericho in a hardcore match, which I don't know if Jericho is going to survive. Like,
Yeah.
shoot.
He's
survive.
going to lose parts of his career.
I wonder if there's going to be light tubes.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be light
I feel like
tubes.
there has to be.
Yeah,
one
because
at
Gage is wrestling, yeah.
So, in addition to that, Slammiversary was last weekend.
Yeah.
TNA brought in names from New Japan, AEW, and NWA. So just a run, and a former WWE talent. So just to run down who showed up. Chelsea Green, who we talked about, she showed up and teamed with her.
The Hot Mess Express.
Yeah, her real life boyfriend, Zach Ryder.
Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona, thank you for his
Whoop, whoop.
real name. Mickey James showed up from NWA. Thunder Rosa showed up. The letdown of the night was No Way Jose showed up.
Yeah, he was there for sure.
He looked like shit.
Yes.
And then the biggest of the night, no diss to Thunder Rosa, because that was my big one.
She's my
But
boo.
Jay White showed up from Japan to do a stare down with Kenny Omega.
Brothers Switchblade. Oh,
So
man.
huge. And then as of last night or
Yeah.
sometime yesterday, Thunder Rosa got officially signed by AEW.
Yes.
She got bought out of her NWA contract early and is now AEW.
Wonderful. And that means there is a collision course in AEW between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. I honestly believe the only reason why Thunder Rosa has not challenged higher end talent in AEW is because she wasn't officially signed with them.
Right.
And now that she is,
That's why she was never in title
yeah,
contention, I think.
she's
too.
gonna fuck somebody up. Yeah. Also, too, the cool thing about Jay White, he's recruiting Chris Bay.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. There's some cool, interesting stuff going on
Yeah.
in Impact for once.
Is it safe to say, Adam, that you're actually becoming a fan of the Forbidden Door?
When it's not called the Forbidden Door, I do like what's happening.
Are you a fan of Crossover Mania?
Has Excalibur said that? Is this all Excalibur quotes? Because I hate him.
Have you ever liked racially insensitive comments? Because that's what Excalibur's known for.
Excalibur's known for.
No, I think this is so cool because we're seeing some of the predominant, still considered indie wrestlers, to come together and do some really cool things.
And just to close out like all these cool debuts and everything going great
Yeah.
for AEW, I saw on the rumor roundup this morning that to combat AEW signing CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, they're going to try to get Braun Strowman back.
So we're going to go to a break.
Way to go, WWE.
Yeah.
You can really read the crowd.
Choo choo, dum-dums. So we are going to cut to a break, and we're going to throw some ads at you. And there are people who love us, and we love them. So if you want to check them out and support them, you support us. And you support us, we get to do some cool things for you. So we will see you on the other side. I know what you're thinking right now. How do I get the downstairs hair care I need to impress my partner? Well, the boys have a little something for you.
That's right. You can take your grooming to the next level with the flagship of Smooth My Balls, the Turf Chopper 3.0. This pube-destroying trimmer uses stainless steel ceramic blade with micro-sized teeth to ensure you're covered by no-scrape technology.
Yep, no cuts, no nicks, no bumps, no hair pulls, and no mishaps. And when those pubes go a-flying, you can call in the backups, the Pube Muncher 1.0 and Sack Mat to ensure cleanup is a breeze. All these devices can be used in wet or dry conditions, and they're compact for easy travel storage and have fast charging technology.
Right now, our listeners can save 15% on their entire order by using our link, smoothmyballs.com/DWTB. That includes free shipping to the U.S.
That's right. So head on over to smoothmyballs.com/DWTB and tell them the boys sent you. Welcome back. Hopefully you heard something that you like. Because, again, when you support our sponsors, you support us. And when you support us, we can bring you some cool stuff. So what I did here is I set it out to the Twitterverse for a little bit of a showdown. And I asked you guys for your grades on Money in the Bank 2021. And you guys actually came back pretty strong with passing grades here. 80% of you voted for it to be an A and 20% to a B. And I would say, personally myself, I'm going to lean towards B, probably B minus. Only because some of the outcomes were kind of chintzy, and I didn't really like how some of the story writing was. But I will say I can see where you wanted to be an A because the Money in the Bank ladder matches were fantastic. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd go solid B.
yeah,
Really surprised nobody in our Twitterverse went below a B though. So that's a pretty positive sign, especially for a WWE show.
yeah.
So
Well, I'll tell you this: I put out one here, and I was like, "Do you think that live crowds are changing the shows?" And people were like, "No, it still sucks dick." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not putting that one on here."
no, see, I think the live crowd definitely.
Oh
helps.
Yeah, it's because you're seeing people, and I think I made this comment before, like people like Kenny Omega who don't do well in like subdued crowds and stuff. He needs a crowd to pick him up, which works now.
His little spider to the fly comment this week
was dumb.
I almost threw a stool through my teeth.
It was dumb. It was terrible.
He is clown shoes.
Yep. How is he pretending like he doesn't know how to do a promo now?
I don't know, because he could do it in New Japan wonderfully.
Yeah, New Japan. He was an assassin with
those
his promo.
those press conferences they were told. He was great.
Dude, fantastic.
I mean, not the best, but compared to what he's doing now, he was great.
They're trying to make it like they're trying to set it up to where Don Callis is going to be like the puppet master, and there'll be a defection and all that, whatever. We'll get into that when it happens, because rest assured, it will.
It will. Yeah.
So we talked about CM Punk coming back. I wrote here all but confirmed, but I'm seeing more confirmations than anything. But I put it out there. CM Punk shows up at AEW. Who do you want to see him feud with first? The choices out here were Kenny Omega, or whoever the AEW champion was, Miro, or whoever the TNT title champion was, or Darby Allin, because he's been doing some pretty cool stuff, and then Jon Moxley, because, I mean, Jon Moxley's Jon Moxley. You guys came in hot for Omega and Moxley at 40 and 50% respectfully, and then Darby Allin got 10%. Miro got nothing.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know, man. I think Miro is only breaking into what he can do.
I think he's great. I just don't think him and Punk aren't an appealing matchup to me.
That's true.
It's like a super clash of styles.
They're both kind of strike heavy.
Yeah, I'd rather see Danielson and Miro.
That'd be cool. Yeah, little guy versus big guy. Little guy's like crazy. Yeah.
So my pick is not any of these people.
Who do you have?
I want him to go against MJF, because those mic battles are going to be insane.
Wow. Yeah.
Punk and MJF? Yep.
That'd be cool. Or like, how about a warm-up, Eddie Kingston?
I'll take that, too. I think they have some history from the indies.
I'm sure they have to, man. Because CM Punk and Danielson, like, ruled Ring of Honor for how long? And then, yeah, that'd be cool. So, speaking of cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff, we are into round 2, and we need to know what that round 2 beer is, because we are featuring Hitchhiker. So, Adam, let the people know.
We got another new one that was out, I believe, last weekend. It is called the Full Frost. It is an Imperial Milk Stout coming in at 9.2%, I believe. Oh, just 9%. Sorry, folks.
Okay.
9% Imperial Milk Stout with the pink frosted animal crackers in it. Or cookies, rather. Some strawberry and raspberry puree, milk sugar, a little bit of lactose, and then some vanilla to round it out.
That sounds fantastic. And again, as previously stated, while Adam is cracking this beer, sound effects. You can find out what's going on at Hitchhiker by searching out Hitchhiker on all social media to see what they got going on. I do believe they have food trucks that show up every once in a while too. So if you're out there and you really want to see what's happening, there will be some food for you. They had chicken coop there one time, and it was a knockout. I had some spicy maple syrup glazed chicken tenders, and I was in heaven. Which reminds me, we do this around lunchtime, and I'm dying. So.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get some tacos.
I'm gonna get aggressive here.
So, but and another shout out to Washington Beer in Trinity Point. When we mentioned them in the first segment, I forgot to say, not only do they have a great can selection, but you can mix and match any of their single cans. You can build your own 4-pack. So if you want to try a little bit of everything from Hitchhiker, go down there. Again, their single can prices are super reasonable. Right by the Walmart in Trinity Point in that same shopping plaza. So go check them out. They've opened about a year ago. I think they opened during COVID or right before. So I'm sure they'd appreciate some business. And they get some they get New Trail, they get Hitchhiker, they get Gnome, they get the big ones from Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania. Take a
little trip.
So, yeah. Awesome. And it's just great that I love that you can do a mix and match.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Because the places I go to, I have to buy a straight 4. Always.
Most of the places around here you do too.
Which sucks, because what if you do get one that's just kind of a bummer, and you got to drink 3 more of them, or try to fake your friends out and give it to them, which I'm pretty good
Bingo.
at. Yeah. So, just took a sip of this thing, and it surprised the hell out of me. It's super sweet. I mean, it has all those different elements into it, but you can definitely taste that frosting in there. It plays hard.
See, I get a little bit of that. I get a ton of the raspberry.
Yeah.
I get a bunch of raspberry, and then it ends with vanilla.
Mm-hmm. It smooths out.
And then it comes back kind of roasty, like how I like my stouts. So yeah, fruited stout, not usually my style. We talked about triple shakes on this podcast before.
Yes.
Coffee stouts are my go-to.
Yes.
But this is really good for being a fruited. I know I can take it as what it's supposed to be, and it is well done.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So the raspberry's playing hard, and then you could definitely it's bordering on a pastry. So,
yeah, I don't get over slightly lactosey notes. I don't get a lot of that milk sugar, which I do appreciate.
Yeah.
It keeps it a little, just like all the sweetness is from the fruit, I feel like.
And I think too, like even the body of it's a little thinner than I was expecting.
That's probably, don't brew for them, but with
Yeah.
my experience with like mass produced cookies,
Yeah.
it's probably from that frosting on the cookies.
Yeah.
Kind of thinned out the
brominated
beer
oil.
and
Yeah. But good job, Hitchhiker. We enjoy your stuff.
Yeah,
and
delicious.
We look forward to getting more stuff from you. And we'll see what we can get from you in the future. So, Adam, we're talking about frosted animal cookies here. Cracker. They're crackers to me, by the way. They'll never be frosted animal cookies. I don't care what anyone
See,
says.
animal crackers are a completely different thing, though.
Yeah.
I get it.
The crackers are way better.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So we're taking that walk down memory lane, and we did before too with our favorite childhood cartoons, which made me yearn for more simpler times. You know, there was nothing like a night of Jolt Cola, and Cheetos, and possibly some delivery pizza while wasting hours upon hours blasting through your favorite video games with your friends. So, Adam, I challenge you to the Mount Rushmore of retro video games. And you better remember the fucking Konami code. So, we will be talking retro games. And for us, being the age we are, in our mid-30s, retro to us means Super Nintendo Entertainment System and Sega Genesis all the way backwards. I have played Atari. That is in play. And I've also played ColecoVision. So,
Nice.
I don't know if any of those games are going to make it.
You played Atari before. Just a qualifier from the beginning. Still have my favorites, but as a kid, did not own a Sega or a Super Nintendo, but played the hell out of them at my friends' houses.
I'm
And
gonna
then
smash you.
that was also the year of the arcades were huge. So those big cabinet games, like played a lot of titles on cabinet games. Okay. But you do have the advantage here. My mom liked for me to read, so she never bought me a video game system when I was a kid. But I did have a Commodore 64, which had some crossover.
Yeah.
I had the early Windows games and stuff, which had some crossover.
Doom.
So, well, you looking at my notes?
Yeah. Oh, I guess. So his first pick. So Yoni, don't forget too, man. If you want to jump in here and make some arguments about these games, that's what we brought you in for.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see around.
Okay. Because I always forget that we're a touch older than you.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Tiny smidge, but it's all right.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do here. And if you want to jump in and say something that doesn't sound right, that's what we brought you in for.
You got it, boss.
Okay. So, Adam, I believe it last time I went first because I ruined you.
You ruined me on the first two picks.
ruined you.
Finisher moves.
So, I'm going to give you home field advantage. You own the Jojitorium, so you own the very first overall first pick.
Well, spoiler alert, Matt guessed it. It's Doom.
That was easy.
So, really, my introduction to first-person shooters was a different game, Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
Doom just took that engine, made it scarier, took away the Nazis. Nobody likes Nazis, especially
Yanni.
in this basement today.
Yeah.
And just improved it, made it scarier, made the weapons better.
Yeah.
Doom was Wolfenstein just ramped up to 11. So Doom is my first pick.
What a wonderful choice, by the way. And I'm glad that I was able to kind of guess it. And I apologize
And
for that.
it was exactly why you said, because
Yeah.
I could play that on PC back in the early 90s, and that made a lot of difference because I did not have a gaming system.
As soon as you said Commodore 64, I was like, if you didn't play Doom on the Commodore 64,
Right.
you should have just thrown it away. So, sorry to spoil your first round pick, but you gave me the breadcrumbs. I found the house there, you old witch.
And thanks to my dad for being into those
Yeah.
terribly violent video games when I was a kid. 'Cause
yeah.
he bought them and installed them, and I just figured out where he hid the discs. I would play Wolfenstein so much, like at midnight when I was 8. It's super inappropriate.
Do you remember so when Wolfenstein, I mean, it hit like modern times, like in the 2000s, where people were doing modifications and stuff, and they made Mecha Hitler.
Uh-huh. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Mecha Hitler's like, I'm here for you. And so your parents or your dad was super into violent video games. My mom was into not supervising me, which is why I had video games. I had a Super Nintendo. I had a Sega Genesis. I had all those things.
It's a one-time cost, and so overall, it's
Yeah.
cheaper than a babysitter.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I would not move. I definitely wouldn't fucking move. So for me, the game that I lost too many hours to it, and I'm actually still pretty good at it. So if you want some heat, you can come try to smoke me on some Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Mortal Kombat, and I played it for the Sega Genesis. So it was the MK original.
Scratch it out.
Yep.
That was my second pick.
See, I'm getting so much better at this. So Mortal Kombat, everyone should know what Mortal Kombat is first and foremost. But if you don't know what Mortal Kombat is, it is the battle from other universes to rule the world through fighting to the death. And the first game only had like 8 characters, so the replayability was low unless you were me, and then it was high. And also too, like, it's the first game where you saw active blood and active murders on screen. Most notably, the one that caused all the drama was Scorpion burning somebody alive by taking off his mask, and that's the one where the MSRP, what is it? Is it MSRP?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The MSRP was like established because of Mortal Kombat. So
Yeah,
much
old,
yeah.
Oh, what's her name? Freaking Al Gore's old lady.
You know,
Tipper Gore.
Yeah, Tipper Gore. That's it.
Headed up that whole BS.
And Tipper should have learned her lesson from whenever they put the explicit lyrics label on things for rock music.
I
and
think
rap
that was
music.
all around the same time.
Because Mortal Kombat sales went through the roof. Yep. So get over here with my first overall pick, Mortal Kombat.
Great choice.
Thanks.
Did take my second choice, but I had 2.
Nice.
And they were very similar styles of games. And the one I'm going to say now is a little bit more of a heartfelt pick for me. As a kid, my mom worked for and volunteered for the Stoke Rocks Boys and Girls Clubs. And they had a couple video game cabinets in their game room there. And I stole a bunch of quarters out of my mom's purse to play this one because they had the cabinet. And I was really freaking good at the game. Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Oh, so is it original Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 2 Turbo?
Original Street Fighter 2.
Nice,
because
man.
they didn't have the turbo cabinet. Cammy can go fuck off. You were just there for guys to look at. Like, not a big fan. I'm not that Turbo's a letdown, but no, I'm into that original. And my favorite character was Blanca for sure.
Oh yeah. Dude, Street Fighter 2 was such a cool game. I remember playing it on Super Nintendo. And then when Turbo came out, it blew my little mind because I was like, everything's so fast. Everything's cranked up. That's all it was too. Like, this coding just got boosted. So
yeah, and they added like 4 characters.
Yeah. And then Balrog came out then, right? The
boxer?
The boxer.
No, he was in
Turbo, wasn't he?
He was in Turbo, but he was in the original too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot because he had that dash punch. Nothing was like unblockable. Him and Honda.
Yeah. I owned with the Honda. He just wasn't my favorite because he was fat.
Yeah, well,
but nobody could beat me when I was E Honda.
Oh yeah, fast hands, baby, just like Chun-Li's fast feet. Nice pick. I really enjoy that one. So I'm gonna dip back into another game where I lost a lot of time here, and that is, and there's really no setup to this because everyone knows the best blue guy in the game, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Because Tails made his appearance in that one, and so did Knuckles when he did the Chaos Emerald runs. So I remember getting that game for Sega Genesis in the winter, and I would lose. I actually called off of school. I would fake sick to stay home and play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because I was trying to unlock Golden Sonic the whole time. So yeah, like I lost countless hours, and my friends would come over, and it was the only time I think I've ever impressed a group of people with something that I really love to do. They're like, Jesus Christ, he never dies. Because it was like, when you die, you gave the controller to somebody else. Right. I never fucking died. You had to bring lunch when I'm playing Sonic Hedgehog 2, because you're just going to be waiting around for a while. I'm good at platformers, and that was like one of the first platformers I wasted all my time on. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Can't disagree that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is superior to the first one, but I don't know, top 4. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what else we got.
He's iconic.
He is iconic. Yeah. Not as iconic as Nintendo's. Little
I
Italian.
knew you were going to do it.
Oh, no. It's not my pick.
That's not?
the next one. No.
Okay. Well, it's on you, man.
Okay. Well, for my third pick, I'm going to another cabinet I enjoyed, but was also for Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time.
You son of a bitch!
Just kind of like how you were with Sonic 2, countless hours spent. And when you played on a cabinet, you could get all 4 of your friends. Like,
yes.
You get you and 3 friends to join. You could each be a turtle, and it was awesome. The home version I did play a couple times, but it was only 2-player for
Which sucked.
SNES, which was like, oh man, this is a lot harder with just 2 people.
Yeah, when you have 4 people and everyone's like concentrating on one person.
Yeah. Yeah, so just I don't know what else to say. Just a classic platformer, really hard to find now because of licensing issues. But was great back in the day. You had the different colored foot soldiers. Each color meant they had like a different weapon. It was just really unique and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can agree with that, man. I remember lining up. So when I lived in a really small town, they had a little arcade to the side, and they had TMNT Turtles in Time. And I remember being there with like all my friends. We all just rotate. We all wanted to be Michelangelo because he's the coolest one, clearly. So we would all take turns trying to jump in. And I think at some point we broke the machine. We forced so many quarters into it that the counter wouldn't count quarters anymore. It would just force out the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
He filled it up.
Yeah. So they replaced it with my next pick because they were smart. They knew more pods on the cabinet meant more kids. More kids means more money. And who better to lead a League of Mutants than a bunch of kids? So my favorite from the multiplayer is the original X-Men cabinet.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that one.
It was fantastic. So you took my Turtles one, and this is my backup. Only because I didn't think you were going to pick Turtles, but I'm glad you did. Because I remember now that was in the very heat of the 90s whenever you were watching X-Men on Saturday morning cartoons and wondering why Jubilee was even involved in it. Right. But if you wanted to see her die, you could pick her, and she'd get crushed.
The cool thing about that game, so like my favorite part of that game was the Turtles game. You had 4 turtles. You pick your favorite turtle. Yeah. X-Men, you could like, it was almost like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Like there were a bunch of different X-Men you could play as, and they all had different movesets and different like special superpowers and stuff. That was a really freaking cool game.
It was also really cool too because it was one of the video games where you could, like, if Cyclops was on with like Wolverine, Cyclops could use his vision and hit Wolverine's claws and then disperse the beams everywhere. So it was like the first step into like team moves, which you see now, like the whole X-Men versus Capcom thing. Right. Like a lot of that happens, but you motherfuckers forgot that shit was already going on back when the X-Men cabinet was taking all my quarters.
Completely forgot about that game.
Yeah, so
really good pick. Can I do an honorable mention to one?
Of course.
That was very similar to those 2 games, but was horseshit in retrospect? The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, yeah. It was built for you to hemorrhage quarters. It was so hard. Yeah,
it was really hard, and it was clunky as hell compared to the other 2.
You're fighting that big head. What the hell was that shit?
I don't.
You're just you're skateboarding the shit out of it.
I still don't remember what the fuck that was from. But I do remember that in the game.
So what do you got, man?
So number 4, really tough. I feel like I should go with the classic. I'm just gonna rattle off some that I'm not gonna pick.
Yeah.
Duck Hunt was super classic. Yeah. Old Nintendo, but definitely not one of my favorites. Super Mario 3, super classic.
Oh yeah.
Go against your hedgehog real well.
Super well.
But not gonna pick it. We're a wrestling podcast, and I threw a bunch of quarters into WWF Raw back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But not that much fun when the new wrestling games came around. So my final pick, going into the sports genre, NBA Jam.
Oh, he's on fire!
Yeah. Boom shakalaka.
Dude, what a great pick.
Yeah. So, again, another cabinet I played a lot. Played it a lot at home. I play it now on my cell phone. They have an updated version with, like, current players, and I still fucking can sink threes like a motherfucker. But, NBA Jam. Probably the second sports game I got into, right behind NHL 94, which was also almost my 4th pick.
Yes.
But I just definitely spent more time on NBA Jam. I liked playing NHL 94 by myself. Yes. I like playing NBA Jam with friends.
Being Mike Modano and just not letting anyone touch the puck.
making him bleed. Number 99 super fan.
It's so fucking good. What a great pick, man. And honestly, NHL 94 was on my list. And I was like, I think Adam's going to pick that in like his first like 2.
Very close. Because like almost all I play nowadays is the NHL games.
Yeah.
So
they're so good.
I'm not fast enough to do the Call of Duties and the Halos of the world anymore. Too quick. And just getting dominated by a 12-year-old in freaking Russia just like breaks my heart. Oh, I'm going to eat my halushki and fuck your mother.
And it hurts
like,
more.
Yeah, man, I'm just getting owned.
It's like his nuts haven't even dropped yet, and he's piping 360 scope style, jumping off the top of a roof. Yeah. We're doing retro games here, but Adam and I have played a significant amount of new games.
I played a ton in college. Like now, life's got other things thrown at me, so I like to just play something I can pause and put down if I need to run somewhere. But yeah, maybe someday I'll get back into it. I don't know.
Probably not, though.
Probably not. My skills are just deteriorating.
We're going to be very busy in the next couple of years, I think, my friend. So I have to take a swerve. I have to, because I have to stay true to myself in retro gaming, and I have to say the things that I definitely played more than others.
Which Final Fantasy are you picking?
So Final Fantasy 1 is amazing. So is Final Fantasy 2. I actually owned original copies of 1, 2, and 3, and I sold them for a lot of money. Yeah. People.
Well, and like 2, it was always weird with Final Fantasy because like 2 is actually the 4th one, or the 5th one.
They kind of Star Wars it. Like this is the one before this one, and this one fits her. But in the same vein as Final Fantasy, there was a game that was released by, at the time it's called Square Soft, but now it's called Square Enix.
I know what it is.
So there's a game called Chrono Trigger.
Not what I thought.
Chrono Trigger is heralded as the best JRPG import to ever hit the Super Nintendo. All the sequels are bullshit. Everyone's always wanted one. It's never happened the right way. Chrono Trigger was one of the first video games to ever have multiple endings throughout your decision making. Side quests significantly influence the outcome of the game, and if you can unlock the ultimate ending, which I've done because I played the shit out of it, and I had the gamer's manual for it too, so I was cheating a little bit. It is so worth, like, it takes 80 hours to beat the game.
See, when you said Squaresoft, I thought you were going Resident Evil because I knew you were a big fan of that too. But that might have been was
PlayStation 1.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, it's PS1. Now, I will say, fuck yeah, I'm definitely gonna, like, if I have to pick like newer video game PS1 and up, Resident Evil 1 and 4 are gonna like compete on my list. But for here, I can confidently say, and I will stand on my nerd mountain and I will die on my geek hill and say that I've beaten Chrono Trigger enough I burnt a cartridge out.
Holy shit.
I saved it enough times where I couldn't save anymore. The cartridge was hot when I played it. So Chrono Trigger, I knew you would never pick it.
No.
So I left it for the end.
Don't even know what it is.
To really dominate my nerdiness, to let you inside my head. Chrono Trigger is my last pick, but honestly, it would be my first. But I didn't want you to make fun of me for my first round pick. Like
I would have.
I know. You've been like, no, who the fuck that is.
I've been like, oh yeah, way to go with an import.
Yeah. But let me just tell you, it is hands down of the generation. It's that and like Dragon's Tale, I think, are like the two that are like the best ones.
Not an RPG guy over here.
Fantastic, great gameplay.
I've heard. I mean, I know Final Fantasy. Just because
it's very popular. Chrono Trigger actually has been known to be better than, like, in that era. So Chrono Trigger, the original, was better critically than Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it's on ports everywhere. You can get emulators and try it out.
I might try it out.
It's fun, and it's a good time waster too, because it's something you can put down and pick back up. And as you progress through, the storyline's really cool, and special moves that you pick up as you learn them, it feels very well paced. You don't feel like you're slogging yourself down. But
and you're not just being. It's not repetitively.
No, and it's not like the surprise mechanics too. Like Final Fantasy, you're like walking on a map, all of a sudden like you're in a fight. You can see enemies on the screen actively as you traverse through all the different worlds and timelines. Okay. Great game. Won't be on the Mount Rushmore, but I had to put this out. I love Chrono Trigger. So, Yoni, you're going to have to help out with this part because we are going to decide out of these 8 the top 4. So, who do you think, real quick though, you heard all of Adam's and you heard all of mine. Who do you think has the better 4?
I think you do, Matt.
Oh my goodness. I beat Adam again.
Because you fucking got Mortal Kombat, which is really strong.
Sounds like you should have done better with your first round picks.
Doom is better than Mortal Kombat. I don't think so.
Don't get me wrong. Like, Doom's pretty solid, but the Chrono Trigger probably capped it.
Yeah, you got a nerd fan over here.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, man, I saw his eyes light up whenever I said Chrono Trigger. I was like, I got him.
I do want to say something.
Yeah.
Are we doing the final 4 here?
Yeah.
Before we get to that, I really appreciate that, like, Sonic the Hedgehog was probably one of the only, like, classic ones we picked.
Yeah.
We don't have Mario on here. We don't have Yoshi. Donkey Kong didn't make it.
We could have easily done just
I'm
that.
surprised like Metroid didn't pop
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
that didn't make it.
when I was constructing mine, I really buy into what.
I went nostalgia.
Yeah, like what games? I almost put like Toe Jam and Earl on there. Battletoads, Nolan Ryan's Baseball from the NES.
I played a lot of that.
Dude, I used to fuck that game up.
Don't know that one.
Dude, it's one of the best baseball simulators from early consoles.
Okay.
You customize players, you can manage teams. It was like ahead of its time.
I was playing Hardball 3 or something.
Yeah,
back
getting
then.
pissed.
It was like the 93 rosters.
with the red box.
Yes.
Yeah, I would throw that.
Well, I played it on, that might have been Commodore 64 or like the first gen of Windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like
Yeah.
that and Tom Landry football were like
Hell
my
yeah.
first two sports games.
I like Tom Landry football.
Tom Landry
man.
football was good.
It
It
was
was,
really good.
It was a total sim. Like you just were the coach and called the play, and your dudes had to execute it. But it was,
I really
was a
liked
lot
it,
of fun.
man. Yeah. Tecmo Bowl also didn't make it on here.
See, I don't know that one.
See, that's a strong one.
Bonus
too,
football.
yeah.
But like you go back and you think about the games you spend all your time with your friends, and these are the ones we did.
Yep.
Or the ones you found yourself devoting your time to. I didn't devote as much time to Mario as I did to Mortal Kombat.
Well, since our guest producer picked you as the winner,
Yep.
you can nominate the first one, I guess.
Mortal Kombat.
All right. I'm not gonna argue that.
Solid
Mortal
choice.
Kombat's number one.
But
Clearly.
I'm also probably going to leave Street Fighter 2 off of it because Mortal Kombat was the superior fighting game. Even though I spent more time with Street Fighter 2, I did like Mortal Kombat better. But I'll go ahead and throw my number one pick up there, Doom.
Yeah, and that's what you should do because Doom is hands down the predecessor to the first person shooters that we get to play now.
Yeah, it was. I think the first, like I said, I played was Wolfenstein, but it was. I think it was. They were both made by ID and everything.
Yeah.
I think it was the exact same engine, just better.
Yeah, and then ID just stayed on board and they just kept pushing
Yeah,
out.
because they did Quake too,
all
right?
the Quakes.
Which was
yeah.
the best.
Oh, yeah,
probably
also-
my favorite to this day.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
GoldenEye. I love the multiplayer.
But Doom
aspect to it, but Quake
smashes it.
smoked
Yeah.
it.
Also, too, how revolutionary was it that they had Trent Reznor doing all the sound effects and music for Quake 1?
One I liked, I don't know if Quake 1 had it, but Quake was the first shooter that I played that did it well. It's like you shot a body part and your enemy reacted.
Yeah, the shot physics. Yeah.
Like if you hit him in the left shoulder, the left shoulder went back
Yeah.
and blew apart and stuff like that. Like that was really
huge.
cool.
Yeah. What do they call that? Strike mechanics or something like that? We know about crumple physics. So for me, I'm going to say that, Mortal Kombat is something I played by myself a lot. Played with some friends. I want to say the one game that I played with everybody else that I really wasted time with was the X-Men cabinet. So I'm going to put X-Men in there as my second pick towards the overall, only because I'm not going to pick Adam's TMT.
Fuck you. I think it should be TMT.
Yoni?
TMNT.
I mean, I'm not very familiar with these two games only because
Okay.
of where I was,
He was young.
brought into this
I don't
world.
think he was born yet.
So
Were you a glimmer in your dad's eye when these cabinets were out?
Thanks.
I don't even think I was a glimmer.
Oh, Jesus.
I wasn't even a thought.
Yeah, you were born in 95, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we were playing.
That
these.
might have been No, X-Men was probably out before that.
It was. It was like
I know
92.
Ninja Turtles was.
So I was playing it in elementary school. Yeah.
But
But you know who the Turtles are. You know
I know who the
X-
Turtles
yeah.
and who the X-Men are, yes,
So-
for sure. I grew up more on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles than X-Men.
Okay, that's fine. And that's why we brought you in here, man.
When I would say, I would think the Turtles game came out first.
It
It
did.
was like the predecessor. I do think X-Men made great improvements on it, but
Yeah.
I'm going with the OG on this.
I would definitely say Turtles in Time is if I had to say one had to kill X-Men, it would be the Ninja Turtles.
I'm gonna be selfish and take NBA Jam.
I know you are, and I knew it was.
But actually, can I replace that?
yeah.
I want to make it. We didn't even put it on our individual ones. I want to say NHL '94. Fuck it.
Really?
Yep.
You're taking your honorable mention and you're throwing it on the Mount Rushmore?
I'm gonna try.
Wow.
Unless you veto me and try to throw Sonic up there.
Honestly,
Or if you think NBA Jam was a better game, that's fine too.
it wasn't. It wasn't. NHL 94 was EA's first good game. I mean, good simulator.
I agree.
Yeah. You know what? fuck it, man.
Because
NHL 94.
NBA Jam wasn't EA. That was Acclaim, right?
That was Acclaim, yeah. Well, all the graphics was
it was very Mortal Kombat.
Very much so.
With the graphics. Cool.
So, our Mount Rushmore is Mortal Kombat, Doom, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, and as a prize fourth, NHL 94.
Let's do it.
Get out there, get emulators, play these games. You won't be upset. They're great games. They're great games to play. I love them. I love them on all different kinds of ports. I love playing when I can. And I hope one day I can get my kids into playing these so I can get back to playing them myself. Dad, help me beat this level. So I actually put in here, do you remember the most difficult game you ever played, Adam? The game that like frustrated you the most?
No, probably not. Because if it frustrated me as a kid, I just stopped playing it.
That you just like, you're like, this is too much.
Yeah. I'll go back to something I'm
94.
Good at.
NHL 94. I mentioned it before. I would say Battletoads was mine. I would get to the level where you're on the jet ski and you're riding in someone's brain.
I don't even freaking remember.
Oh, dude.
Battletoads.
It was like you're riding a ski-doo and you're trying to like hit jumps and stuff, and you have to hit them in sequences. It was so hard that I almost couldn't tell you what the level after it was.
Do you know what the original? I think it was called Donkey Kong, like where Mario made his debut.
Yes.
I mean, that's real old.
Yeah.
That game frustrated the fuck out of me, but I played it a lot because I just enjoyed it.
Because the barrels were very unpredictable.
Right.
Like they can sometimes go down ladders and sometimes not.
not,
Yeah. So you're like, I'm behind this ladder.
So that's the first one I remember like slamming a controller to.
Yeah. So we always put it out to you guys to send in your questions, comments, emails, and whatevs. So we have 3 really good questions right now. Some of them make me laugh. Some of them make me think. So, Adam, this person wants to know, this may have been tackled before, but I'm new to craft beer. What makes an IPA a West Coast, a hazy, or a session?
So yeah, I think we tackled what's the difference between a West Coast and a New England IPA.
Yes.
Which, but yeah, we didn't really touch on session. And again, I'll qualify it as saying I'm not a brew judge. I'm not a brew master. I'm not anything. This is just my opinions and how I brew them. But a West Coast is the more classic style that gained popularity in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It's clear. You can see through it. It's usually hoppy, really bitter up front, piney, citrusy sometimes. And just makes you kind of pucker with bitterness.
Yeah.
Hazy is a New England IPA. It's an interchangeable. Hazy's kind of like the slang term for it now. But they're cloudy. They're a little bit thicker on the mouth, pillowy. The cashmere one we had today was a hazy. So usually a little more stone fruit forward, maybe even sweet. Sometimes there's lactose in them. Sometimes there's not. Not as bitter. Sometimes like a danky bitterness up front that fades. Higher calories.
Yeah, very much so. Let's say they're liquid Big Macs.
Yeah, and the hazies get a lot of their. I haze mine up with oats.
Yeah.
Usually there's like a little bit more wheat in those than a West Coast. And then for our third thing, sessions can be a New England or a West Coast. Sessions are not referring to appearance or taste so much as what the ABV is. So anything. Don't know technically what makes a session, like what percentage is the cutoff, but I would say it's either 5% or like 5.5% and under. Or sessions, and they're just called sessions because you can drink them in a drinking session and not feel bloated and not feel bad the next day. You can crush 4 to 6 of them, and I wouldn't recommend driving home maybe, but you'll wake up a little clearer minded.
Well, I would say too, I think sessions always fall into like the what am I going to tailgate with, and I don't want to drink PBR,
right?
So I want something with a little more spiciness to it.
And you see sessions coming up real big now, just with the calorie conscious.
For sure,
customer base out there.
Yeah,
those hazies are really high in calories. So you're seeing session hazies, you're seeing session, basically West Coast or American IPAs. But that's my breakdown.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with it more. I always say if you want some bite, you get a West Coast. If you want some adjuncty stuff, you get a hazy. And if you want something you can sip on all day, you get a session.
I will say West Coast probably got its name because they took it. The originators of IPAs are the Brits.
Yes.
Actual England.
Yeah, because it lasted longer in the barrels.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say it's West Coast because I'm just guessing California and Oregon did it in America first and kind of Americanized it. That's when I'm saying late 80s, early 90s.
And thank God they did too, by the way, because West Coast is my favorite.
It's my favorite
Yeah,
style.
I just love the bitiness. I think when I think West Coast, I think IPA. I think I'm going to get a pucker bomb. I love them. And the maltiness.
Yeah, every time somebody says they're going to San Diego, I'm like, you're going to go check out Stone?
Yeah.
Lagunitas?
Oh, yeah. Always.
And they're like, no, going to the fucking beach, you weirdo.
He's like, take a side session there, buddy. They're like Stone, Lagunitas, and Ballast Point are all in the same city block in downtown San Diego. If you don't go to them, you're doing yourself a disservice. So the second question here, this one gets asked a bunch of times. Are you guys AEW fanboys?
We just talk. I already was kind of a fanboy, and now they're just bringing in CM Punk.
Yeah.
Brian Danielson.
Yeah, you better watch out. There's copyrights.
Yeah. So you bet your sweet tartan ass I'm a fanboy.
Nothing more American than AEW wrestling.
Until WWE can get their act together, I will still watch it, but we will be covering AEW probably a little bit heavier on this podcast.
Well, I'll tell you, when WWE gets Braun Strowman to come back, I'm going to switch back over.
Yeah. Bet your chewing ass.
Yeah, man. We love AEW here. We love all wrestling. When it's good, even when it's bad.
I like good wrestling.
Yeah.
I like it good, or I like it really bad.
Horribly wrong. Like all those. What's that stupid thing they put on? It's the Good Brothers that put it on. What is it? Talking Shop or whatever.
Talking Shop-a-mania.
Yeah, just slapstick all day long. It's so bad, it's good. Speaking
Tex Ferguson. And Chad Too Bad. I remember both of them.
Chad Too Bad.
You know what? We have to watch that sometime.
Yeah.
And, like review it on here.
Good Lord. It's a botch fest. Speaking of botching and wrestling, Adam, if you could right now, who would you choke slam?
Excalibur off the stage through 3 flaming tables and then 3 barbed wire cover tables. I hope his mask rips off and his tongue falls out.
Jesus. So there's a plethora of hatred in the Jojitorium for Excalibur.
You thought I was going to say Kenny Omega. Nope.
I really thought
you know what? Excalibur's definitely lighter too. I could throw him.
Oh,
harder.
you could for sure. He's not as thick as Kenny Omega.
1,000%.
Dude, Kenny Omega is thick.
Just render him speechless.
Render him dead.
Well, either way, we're all better. We're all better off either way.
Where's New Jack when you need him?
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Rip. So if I could chokeslam anybody right now, I don't know. I got to pick somebody, right? Somebody has to get these hands. It's a tough question for me, man, because I want to chokeslam a lot of people.
Oh, I thought that these hands meant it was going to be Braun Strowman.
I can't chokeslam him. He's fucking huge. Unless he helps me sell. Like if he jumps with me and I can sell it, I definitely would chokeslam.
While you're thinking,
Yeah.
after Excalibur falls through all those tables I talked about and his tongue falls out, speaking of News Jack, I would then mass transit him.
You're trying to get a felony, man.
Yes. I'll take a felony to get that man off my TV
Felony
screen.
assault.
Do they get TNT in prison? Federal prison?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm good.
Jesus. Okay.
As long as I can still watch AEW.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Because I am a fanboy.
Yes. Suck it, haters. If I could chokeslam anybody right now, it'd be that one dumb asshole from Minnesota that gave us heat the other day.
Montana.
Montana.
Yeah.
Sorry, Minnesota. Secondary murder capital of the world. That dumb asshole from Montana who's giving me shit for having a cool sponsor. Yeah. I'm still mad about it. Come through. Pittsburgh, PA, baby. You hit me up. You see what happens. I'm going to chokeslam her.
That's your bag?
I'm picking her. I'm still hot about it.
Mine's better.
Who do you got?
No, mine's better.
Excalibur? I thought you had somebody else.
No.
I'm going to tell you right now, man.
For somebody to eclipse my hatred of Kenny Omega,
That's
impressive.
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's Aleister Black. It's Tommy End. I fought him in 1982, and none of you fuckers care about it. Like, fuck you, dude. Stop inserting yourself. You're not in the ring anymore, buddy.
And nobody wants you in the ring anymore.
Take your mask off. You're a fucking white dude from California.
You're not a lucha.
Asshole. You're not a luchador.
You're not a lucha.
Never have been, never will be.
So, we have a listener email here. It says, hey boys, I've been dating for a really long time, or I've been single for a really long time. I've tried dating different women from all over the place. I am scared to do online dating, but I don't think I connect with people face to face very well. Is online dating worth it, or should I keep going on being a hot sauce chugging dum-dum, trying to talk to women at bars? Love and grilled cheese, Alex.
Just stay single. Who gives a fuck?
That was right.
You know how much free porn there is out there?
Yeah. Pornhub doesn't need a login. Like they say sign in, but you don't have to.
Keep your money. Keep all your video game playing time.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I love my wife, but
Yeah.
the dating scene, especially if you're like, I don't know how old you are, Alex, but if you're over 30, it's just a fucking plethora of single mothers looking for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Do I sound bitter?
Just a touch.
No, it's just rough once you get past
really
it.
is, man.
There's nothing wrong with a nice
No.
single mother.
There's not. There's not anything wrong with that. Adam was just caught in a flurry.
I got caught. Yeah,
He's still mad about Excalibur.
Love is a battlefield, and I have some battle wounds from dating.
Yes.
Before I found my wife. But yeah. Post 30s dating is just
It's tough, man.
20s dating is a lot of fun.
20s dating is a lot of fun because there's no end game.
Nobody
thinks of
nobody's
anything.
responsible yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30. Everybody goes into dating in their 30s with like this preconceived notion of what it needs to be.
This is who I'll marry. This is who I'll be. I'll say
Because we're just bitter, tattered flags by the time you turn 30.
absolutely. Like all the things that made me fun in my 20s makes me a problem in my 30s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it all just solidified, and now I'm just that guy.
The only thing that's the same is my drinking habits.
Oh yeah, the drinking habits have, if anything, they've only
Just
increased.
the recovery time's also increased.
Oh yeah, that's the part that sucks the most. I will say, as a man who found his wife on online dating 11 years ago, that was cool, but not now. I have friends that signed up for it now, and like, mostly women who ask me about it because it's always like, "Oh my god, you found your wife online? That's so cute." And then they ask me about it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I use Match. I use Match.com because it's a service you pay for." I'm like, I'm not going to go on like Plenty of Fish or any, Tom, Dick, or Harry can get on there. So I used Match, and it was great. And then one of my friends who tried it, she's like, "All I get are just dicks, and I pay for it. I pay for dick pics now." I was like, "Well, you can just go on Instagram." She's like, "I hate social media." I was like, "If you just want to get dick pics," she's like, "I don't want dick pics." I was like, "Oh, okay." Because also too, Match is like,
If you just want dick pics, I got something to send you.
yeah. I mean, that's your phone. That's my dick.
Good Lord. Never mind. I'm not as bitter as you.
No. It's I could tell you that I besmirched Plenty of Fish because I tried it before I tried Match, and let me tell you that anybody can go on Plenty of Fish.
I've been on there. Ooh. I've done the Tinder thing.
Did a little bit of Grindr in my time.
That one's convenient because they come to you.
Yeah, they come to me. No, I think online dating, if you're trying it for a specific reason, I think Tinder still works because of for what it is. But if you're going to do online dating, I'd say use pay services because you're going to actually hopefully not get dick pics, but you're going to find someone who actually wants to, strike up a conversation with you.
Yeah, and I will be serious and agree with Matt. I mean, it is good to find somebody, no matter what your preferences are, just to find somebody. Because people who are single die earlier.
Yeah,
so
stats don't lie unless you ask Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
stats don't lie.
Yeah.
I'll say stop chugging hot sauce. We only do it on here because we're funny. You shouldn't do it in your real life.
Yeah, and I mean, not to get into my bathroom too often, but my poo-poos were orange the next day. Like bright, atomic, toxic Avenger orange.
The text message I received from Adam the day after we did the Heritage hot sauce chugging punishment, where I almost felt your pain through the text.
5 painful lava shits before noon. I was shitting every half hour. Not only that, but I got woken up by one at like 7 a.m.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're trying to sleep in.
I was okay the day I did it.
Yeah.
It was all the next
day.
The next morning, man.
Because I remember when you were like, when you burped, like you can get like a vegetal.
It's nice. It's pleasant.
It's so pleasant. And I was like, it's going to be pleasant tomorrow. Nope. So stop chugging hot sauce, dum-dum. Talk to women if you want to. Try online dating if you want to. Just do whatever works for you.
Yeah, just don't chug that hot sauce.
Yeah, don't chug hot sauce. So, speaking of chugging stuff, Adam, you continue to make some of the best beers in the Berg. So I got to know what's on tap and where can people find us?
I'm super prepared this week. I got a calendar together now.
It's so good.
So, what's on tap? We still have the pineapple jalapeno triple retired agent on for now, and we have the brutal kitty on. And then by the time you're listening to this on Sunday afternoon or Monday and forward, we will have the Jason Sleeping Bag, which is our toasted marshmallow IPA made with Idaho 7 hops exclusively, just a single hopper.
Smash, baby.
But where you can find us, get your pens and pencils out, boys and girls. Starting this Saturday, July 31st, we will be at the Schuylkill County Brewfest in Pottsville, PA. And again, we will be serving with 412, who sponsored us at the beginning of the episode. So look for the 412 tent. We'll be off to the side there with our own little keg of the Jason sleeping bag. It'll be ready for the festival. So come get some toasted marshmallow IPA. Then August 29th is the North Hills Home Brew Fest in Cheswick, PA. So a little bit North Hills, a little north of the city, a little outside of the city.
Closer to me, man.
Our first time doing this one. We've wanted to do it for the last 2 years and then COVID years, so 3 years, and now we're finally getting to do it. Really excited. We'll be coming to you with what beers we'll be bringing there very shortly, probably in 2 episodes or so.
That's it.
Then September 18th, Brews and Bruises. We talked about that on this podcast before. It's happening September 18th, pro wrestling, craft beer at the Green Tree Sportsplex. Buy your tickets now. They are on sale. The next day, September 19th, we are at Homebrew and Chill in Greensburg at All Saints Brewing Company. Buy your tickets now. I think they're on sale. Check it out. Yeah. They are on sale. Buy them up. Then November 6th, we are doing the Drink the Cookie Table. It's a dessert beer fest with some really big national names.
Yeah.
Pumped. The Answer's going to be there. Aslan Brewing is going to be there, as well as some others I can't remember right now.
I can only say that one, not to interrupt you, but that one, even if you don't want to come see us, come see those breweries. It's not often you get breweries like that come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that'll be at one of my favorite places to serve at. I do a home brew fest there usually every winter. It's at Spirit in Lawrenceville. So
lovely venue.
Come check it out. Great concert venue, great place to drink too. And then finally, and the one I'm most honored to be invited to do because we're going to be one of the only home brewers there, the First Sip Brew Box presents Hops with Heroes. This is a veterans business, veteran breweries beer fest. We are going to get paired with a veteran business to do a collab for this. It is 2 sessions. It'll be November 13th. They do have a location. They just haven't released the details on it yet. So it'll be in the Allentown, Mount Oliver area for everybody wondering. But the exact venue has not been completely put out there yet. But we will let you know when it does. And like I said, huge honor for Dennis to invite us to be a part of that, given that he's a veteran. It's a veteran brew fest. Between that, the cookie table, the wrestling event, these are all like really cool concepts for Brewfest. And as much as I like my wrestling, I'm very honored being a DoD civilian to be able to do this Veterans Brewfest, and I'm going to try to knock it out of the park.
Absolutely. To know that we can stand side by side with some of the veterans that have served this country, and also to be next to some of the most popular breweries in the scene. It's humbling for sure. And when you buy your tickets for all these events, because you should, make sure you hashtag us. It's the Bash Brew Beer Fest Tour 2021.
Yeah. And then after November 13th, maybe we can take a breather and get some stuff back in the Jojitorium.
And then we can have some samplings.
But we'll see. Yeah, I can tell you right now, I know, I'm just not going to tell you what I'm making for North Hills. North Hills is going to be great. We already know what we're taking to Drink the Cookie Table, and those are going to be great. Everything else still kind of up in the air, but
we're bringing bangers.
We have a big boy for Brews and Bruises.
Oh, if you get your tickets September 18th. So if you want to find out what's happening down here in the Brew Lab in the Jojitorium, you just got to follow Adam at @bash_brew on all social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and now Twitter. Don't forget to follow him on Untapped. As always, if you want to know what's happening down here in the Jojitorium with the boys, follow us at Decaying WTB on all social media. That is, again, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to send in your listener emails, decayingwtb@gmail.com. And, again, if you buy tickets to these events that we're going to be at, let us know. Hashtag Bash Brew Beer Tour 2021. So until next time, from the boys to y'all, cheers.
Cheers.